Good now, revolutionaries. That is the sultry sound of night driving. I am Evan Man. He is Alex Popovich. You are one of the Faceless Many, and it's time to rise up. But first, let's have some coffee. We got to wake up. We got to smell the crypto. We got to smell the coffee. We got to talk about what's going on so everybody can get on the same page. Apparently, it's been a whole big week in crypto, but the biggest news is that you're early, and we're going to slow it down and make time to go through it together so that wherever you are in your bear market cycle, you can get up to speed with us, and we can all do something great as we work together to wrap our heads around this thing. Alex, speaking of heads, I see you've got another head at home. Another 2.5 pound, another 2 heads. That's right. I forgot. Tell us about your new friends who I hear somebody scratching in the background.
Well, that's one of the classics. He's been here for a while.
Classics. just like what, a dozen years old, probably.
He's hard to say. I don't know. This is the big one.
Oh, hey, buddy.
He's
who's that? I don't know that I've ever seen your friend there before.
That's Kirby.
Oh, I've seen Kirby. I've just never seen him upright. I feel like I've only ever seen him.
Yeah, exactly. Kirby is the one who, as Christina is just starting to discover because she works at home, his favorite thing to do is wait until you're in a meeting, streaming, whatever, and just start farting very loudly in your office within earshot, and then make you have to do the, hey, look, it was the dog. But the 2 new ones, one of them is ancient. She's got to be 150.
Yeah.
She's a 2.5 pound little teeny spindly chihuahua. Trying to beef her up a little bit, but she kind of just picks at food. She doesn't have, I don't think, any teeth, so the eating, we're still trying to figure out the ideal mush mixture that she enjoys to try to fatten her up a little bit.
Yeah.
Then the other one is a teeny tiny little puppy. It's like I don't know, pit mixed with an Australian Shepherd and a Catahoula or something. She's very cute, very fluffy. She's got some vision problems, some hearing problems, and we're not sure exactly what happened, but she was found out mauled pretty bad. So she's got some huge puncture wounds on her back, her chest, her stomach, under her leg, her back leg, inside of one ear, and then above and below one of her eyes. So she's recovering. She has a huge bruise on her underside. So she's kind of just, she's recovering nicely. But the one thing we're not 100% sure on is what kind of internal damage happened when she got attacked by whatever it was.
Yeah.
There was big punctures, so like it was something big. I don't know how she survived, but
well, I saw her, and I mean, she's prey, man. Whether it was another dog or even like a bird, you know what I mean? Like it would have been nothing for a raptor to just swoop, pick her up, kind of thing. I'm glad she's with you guys in that video. It looks like she's got a lot of spirit.
Oh yeah, she's a classic puppy, not slow down. She's seems like she's pretty with it. Like she can definitely see and hear enough to follow you at least and get around. It starts to get dark. She starts to have a little harder time getting around and everything, but she's a good little puppy. I haven't done a puppy in 8 years. Whenever we got Echo.
Wow.
Yeah, so until yesterday or the day before, our youngest was 8.5 or 9 or something, whatever he's about to be.
Well, hey man, there must be something in the air, because the feral cats in our neighborhood and the one that hangs out in our garden brought us a tiny little cat, and there's a brother and a sister feral cat. They look like they're wearing tuxedos, and the baby that showed up is wearing a little tuxedo too. So his like Uncle Dad, the garden cat, is very proud of him. And it's, for being such a, probably genetically unhealthy baby, is very, healthy looking, and very cute. So
Good.
it's something in the air, man.
Well, hey man, you're off to a good start. You got Richie, so you're starting to accumulate, and
I'm starting to accumulate, man.
You just need to get over. I tell everyone who comes into the rescue, once you cross 3, you realize the number doesn't matter, but getting to 3 is hard. Now all of a sudden I have 7, and
oh my goodness. Well, it's kind of fitting for our lives, I guess, because I don't know who I was talking to about it the other day, but it made me think about crypto because it was a non-crypto person, but I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh my gosh, I was thinking the animals, they're like NFTs. And I mean, more and more, I have so many of them. I'm not sure what they do. And a lot of them point to JPEGs of really colorful, kind of funky animals, but there we are, so
utility is questionable. The roadmap is
questionable. Yeah. I did have a really great conversation last night. I saw you there for a minute with our friend Joshua Jake, and a lot of it centered around distinguishing digital utility from physical utility. And I think that's an interesting, I hadn't really thought about that in a minute. Just this concept that something can have either, something can have both. And a lot of people are still working to wrap their minds around it. And I don't always include it in my explanation of terms of value, but digital utility and physical utility, they're totally different, and they're both valid and both applicable, especially, to our lives now. But, it's a conversation I'm having more and more lately.
Yeah, it was cool to tune in a little bit. There was, you and Josh were great. There was another guest there that I cannot stand.
Oh, you know him?
Yes.
For context, we were on TikTok last night, and I was sweating, man. I was dripping. I was sweating.
We could all tell, Evan. We could all tell.
I'm sure I was glistening. I tried to prep up the air conditioning for this morning. But our friend Joshua Jake has been hosting a lot more really good, I think, live streams where he will present a topic or he'll educate in a particular area. Usually something that somebody who is into crypto or not, and somebody at any level of experience can kind of get into. I think he does a good job cultivating those kind of conversations. But he had a panelist up that I don't know personally. So you don't know him, or you do know him and you just don't like him?
Yes, I don't know him. We don't have a personal relationship, but I've seen enough of his content to have formed an opinion. He is what I think is wrong with the space generally. Gotcha. He's a very full of himself, very self-assured, full of misplaced confidence, spends most of his time pontificating, and he makes absolutely completely unbased price predictions on a regular basis that could very easily be misconstrued as like, you're a moron if you don't buy as much of this as you can. And it's just, he's not doing anything good for the space. He's doing more harm than good. He routinely associates with some relatively well-known scammers. He's not doing good things.
Well, he came in with that kind of energy, but I don't know him personally, so I never like to make an assumption, but golly, that's a shame, because
I actually have one of his and someone else's duet video or live videos clipped that I'm just waiting for the opportune moment for. I can't remember what it was. It was just like it was a price prediction. It was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I think it was quant. I think it was
another quant video.
It was like something to the effect of, there is no way that quant doesn't hit $5,000 next bull market.
Smash that like button, guys.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's the single biggest reason I don't enjoy that person or any of the people that he hangs out with regularly is because they present themselves with, not only am I better than you, but you are an idiot and you need me. and I am the only thing standing between you and eternal glory. And like, it's Trumpy, honestly. It's the Trump vibe of like, you're all doomed. I'm the only one that can save you. You're an idiot if you don't listen to every word I say.
I think I'm gonna start saying that. I am the only thing standing between you and eternal glory.
And I can lead you there, or I can prevent you from ever reaching it.
Yeah, man, I'm into it.
It's gross, man. I mean,
It's gross.
You've seen it. If you go to his page and start watching videos, you'd be like, I know this person. Because
it's gross because
we've all seen that person.
Yeah. And speaking of friends who are not gross and who are not bad for your health generally, but are a little bit corrupted. Bill, brother, what's going on, man? How you doing?
That was a stretch to get there. I thought, speaking of people we don't like.
No. We love you, man. And you're a good guy. You're rocking.
Hey, thank you. I just wanted to ask Alex to tell us, how do you really feel about this guy?
Yeah, I know, right?
I was being reserved. That's me.
Yeah. Stop pulling punches. How do you really feel about him?
We really do have to start a little bit of, we vent. It's like a steam valve. You got to let it off a little bit because it'll get to you.
I feel like he just described about every average Joe out there trying to make a living in crypto by, making those silly predictions and trying to get a following. And it's crazy.
They're farming clicks, and
it's next people, up, Jim Cramer.
This is I forget who it was. Who said it? Maybe it was Kagan. It'll come to me. Anyway, he and the people that he associates with, they spend a lot of time in crypto, but the only thing they look at are price charts. So they don't actually know anything about how any of it works. And yet they present what they're sharing as education about the industry, not their slap hack job TA, which is also garbage. You can ask Kagan about how he feels about the TA that they've presented, and he'll describe it to you.
Now, Kagan is our friend Magic Internet Money. If you want to go follow his analysis or his commentary, he's got a lot of helpful takes. We have this bad habit of playing too much inside baseball. I did it about Josh. I was like, oh, our friend Josh.
Oh, yeah. It's a bad habit.
It's a bad habit. So if we say something and we're going too fast and you're watching and you got a comment, let us know. Friends, family, Faceless Many, good to see you. Our friend Neil's here. Brett's here. And if you're here for the first time now or in the future and you have a question and you want to ask somebody who's not going to tell you if they don't know, then ask us. If we don't know, we'll tell you. And if we do know, we'll do our best to make it easy, a little bit entertaining. And if you don't want to ask now or you just want to join the conversation, then head on over to discord.gg/themany. That's where our community of friends gathers. No one's going to try and sell you anything, and you can learn about blockchain, crypto, NFTs, and just kind of, see what you're into as you get a grip on this world. Alex, do you want to do a little bit of crypto news? I feel like we've eased off some steam. I feel like it's time we can start talking about what's going on this week. And as we do, if anybody's got anything they want to contribute to the conversation, you can raise your hand on Twitter to come on up. You can leave a comment on YouTube to insert your voice in the conversation, or tap the button in the bottom right of your Twitter screen to see the comment feed.
Evan, I do have a question, but I think it'll be better after we hear the news.
After we hear the news. Well, with that flaming...
Way to tease us there, Bill.
I was going to say, that is a spicy, spicy tease, and I'm just going to take it right to...
Rapid fire crypto news.
Every time. It's too good.
I'm never not going to do it, dude. I absolutely love it. What you got for us, newsman?
Well, I was... woke up this morning. I was kind of going through some stuff, and I collected a couple things last night. So there's a category. You know how we've been talking, Evan, lately about the style of news sometimes on slow news days where really all you see are just price predictions.
Yeah.
We've entered a very specific cycle in the prediction news stories, and they're everywhere right now. And I think that it's actually worth talking about because these are this I hesitate a little bit. I'm trying to think of the best word here. These are almost more dangerous, I think, than straight out price predictions, because I feel like people are starting to get a little bit more and more like when people make price predictions, they're just guessing. This is a little bit different. So there are a number of like on-chain metrics that are now starting to look like they did at certain periods in previous market cycles. And what some articles like to do is cherry pick a single on-chain metric and say the last time we saw this was right before Bitcoin went on an 80% rally, or the last time Cardano did a 10x or something like that.
The old correlation as causation logical fallacy.
Yes. And they can be very hard to pick through because someone who is writing it is literally only presenting you with a fact. Like, it is a fact that Cardano's on-chain metrics are showing good-looking activity in this one region. That's one of the stories right here. It is also a fact that the last time this indicator triggered, we saw a rally. There are other facts that contribute and are worth mentioning that are left out of articles like this, like the global macroeconomic landscape was way different at that point than it was right now. We were in a bull market last time this happened. Bitcoin was at $50,000 last time this happened, that sort of stuff. So I would just say, when you're looking through the news, because there's a lot of them, especially if you do what I do and you just wake up pretty much every morning and you open Crypto Panic and just do a quick swipe, you will see a lot of these headlines. So it's worth it to go in and read them and like see what the metric is, but then just use that as one single data point, because that's literally what it is. You can't take one data point in a sea of data and draw a reasonable conclusion from just that one thing. So there's a ton of that today. And yesterday. It's been, you know, for the last week or so. But
what a theme.
Yeah, it's amazing too, because all of these are different publications, but you can definitely tell that the trend, like the stage in the cycle that they get into when they're talking about like a bunch of price predictions, or like, I think we're going to see the bear market end, and they're all writing about that. Or then now where we go to, you know, Market Watch, sentiment, whatever, and we pull out a single indicator and just look at that.
Well, hit me with a couple of these headlines, and I'm going to try and follow along and pin them to the top of the Twitter space, and then we can flip it over to Bill and catch a good question.
All right. So the one that I was just referencing is from coinedition.com. Evan, I'm realizing now as I'm about to tell you all of these that these are just right from Crypto Panic, and I don't know if they're on Twitter or represented on Twitter for Panic.
Is Crypto Panic on Twitter? Boy, if they're not, they should be.
Oh, they should be, but
yeah, they are. I got them. I don't know. I don't know why I didn't know that. I love Crypto Panic. Go ahead.
They are. It's an amazing tool.
Yeah.
So this one is Ghost Chain, in quotes, Cardano, a buzz with research activity worldwide. So if we follow that one out, basically, so yeah, it's Coin Edition, your global news destination. Seems to be just I actually wasn't familiar with this. Oh, they do have a Twitter, Evan, so maybe this story is up if they do that. But basically, it's referencing a tweet from Charles. This would be one that you could pin. Charles posted it yesterday at around noon, and it's a quote tweet of Cardano's research, like current activity, and Charles goes, a bunch of ghost researchers, very spooky.
Okay.
So this one is just kind of a simple, there's no like price prediction in it, whatever. It's just there's a bunch of people researching on Cardano, which, to be fair, Cardano is kind of a research blockchain, and they're always doing that. We've also got, let's see where we just refreshed, and I have to scroll and find all my stories.
No, you're fine. And just for color context, I will say that on this this topic of Cardano and decentralization and as a ghost chain, our friend Vanessa also has a lot of great stuff. She's very active in the Cardano community, or at least was up until a couple of months ago. I have to say I haven't seen as much out of Cardano, but I think it's because there isn't as much user level activity. User is a bad word. Citizenry activity going on right now, but she's great to follow. Technology poet.
Yeah, she's got a lot of Monero stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
She feels very strongly about. Okay, here we go. So this one is from Be in Crypto, which is a more well-known site, I think, than the other one. And here's the classic headline, Evan. Tell me what you get a load of this one.
Oh no.
Crypto expert predicts when Bitcoin price will reach $30,000.
Oh, Bill, where's the ding? That's put it on your bingo card. Crypto expert. Thank you very much. Okay.
Evan, we are really messing up by not titling our streams just crypto experts predict when you will be a billionaire.
Yeah. Crypto expert helps you find the moon. Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
Well, and dude, this is a pet peeve of mine, because if you open this article and you look at the top thing, it's it's all about how Dmitry Noskov, who I don't know who the hell that is, but that's the crypto expert, arguing about the Federal Reserve interest rate policy being a primary driver of Bitcoin's price. Yeah, it's been driving it into the ground. And then the expert, dude, I love how this is written. The expert commented, market participants expect the Fed to ease rate hikes after U.S. inflation fell to 3% in June. The bank later dashed that expectation by increasing rates. So
That's
that was,
so rich.
but then that's immediately followed by Bitcoin will not sustain a rally above 30,000. So this is just like a swing trader's prediction.
I can't find that article, but honestly, it's probably good. That, it's a shame our audience won't get in touch with that particular expertise, but I know.
I pinned it because I'm gonna go look and see what constitutes being a crypto expert, because I think we have a new job to apply for.
Honestly, side note, there's a number of these, but I subscribe to a feed called Help a Reporter Out that's very popular in the PR world. And it's essentially a daily newsletter. It gets sent out multiple times a day. And it's all these reporters, many of whom are like legitimate, write for Forbes, the New York Times, but a lot of them write for what is essentially like a business news site. Like Be in Crypto is probably a business news site. They probably freelance a bunch of articles. Hey, we need somebody to write about liquid staking. Hey, we need somebody to write about, proof of work. And they will go to a website like Help a Reporter Out, and they will write a call that says seeking expert on decentralized finance or seeking expert on artificial intelligence, preferably has this kind of experience. And they'll, qualify replies a certain kind of way. But what I have noticed is that in a topic area, like everything follows the trends, right? If AI is hot, that's what they want to talk about. If crypto is hot, that's what they want to talk about. And in those new topics, they just don't have, I would say, the qualifications themselves as journalists to even know what questions to ask. So they'll say like, what's your qualification as a crypto expert? And a lot of the time it'll be like, so-and-so made over $100,000 in the last bull market, or so-and-so has bought Bitcoin for the first time in, 2015 or whatever. And I find myself saying that kind of thing as like a credential. I'll be like, oh, I bought little Bitcoin back in 2017. But I always like to tell people like, listen, I didn't get it then. And anybody who tells you, I had a friend who told me about it, who bought $25 worth of Bitcoin in 2011 or something like that. And he doesn't understand it. He hasn't touched it. He lost it. He's never been in it. You know what I mean? Like, just because somebody tells you that, help a reporter out. Anyway, that's my, tangent. Forget about it. Keep giving us the good stuff, crypto experts. My God.
So I've got three more.
Okay, hit me.
I'm sorry, two more. One of those was my crypto expert. So here's another one. the world's become a new wallet has become the world's third largest Bitcoin wallet. Who's the mysterious whale? They've accumulated 118,000 Bitcoin in the last 3 months.
Wow, in the last 3 months?
Yeah. Now, I wonder if this is not one of probably. I mean, someone who's doing this much is already in there, so they have another wallet. We probably know who this person is. They just have a different wallet now, and they're loading up and migrating and trying to obfuscate identity a little bit. Would be my guess.
Yeah.
118,000 is tremendous. That is an impressive stack to accumulate, especially that,
to say the least.
Yeah. And this is a very classic like on-chain indicator that I've noticed will get used a lot. You know, such and such a wallet has accumulated this much. This well-known whale sold this much, which is kind of it's the nice part, and it's also a problem with how open and explorable and readable to everyone a blockchain is. Because we can all see it, but you don't always know what it is and what it means, and which just drives a bunch of speculation naturally.
Mm-hmm.
So then, because this is also followed up with Stellar XLM, which is one of the like culty X genre cryptos, always mentioned in conversations with XRP and XLM and XDC.
Oh yeah.
So this one is just about, how the price rebounded 25%, which could indicate blah, 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 blah. And then there was another one specifically about SHIB, where one of the biggest SHIB whales has offloaded a shitload of it. Someone else bought a bunch of it. What this means. Here's a great article. SHIB worth $800 can make you a millionaire if SHIB reaches this level. It's like, no shit. One SHIB could make you a millionaire if it reaches $1 million.
Oh no. This is exactly why I titled the space like I did today. We are so at the point in the bear market where people are just like scraping to get those eyeballs, man.
Well, especially because there's a little bit of shift in sentiment where more eyes are coming back because enough people have been saying that this is probably nearing the end of the bear market. Enough of that has been said, and who knows? It might be. Who fucking knows? So enough.
But if that's the story that we tell, this is the kind of story we're gonna get again and again and again.
hence my last video, the only crypto prediction that I will ever make. Which is just that I feel like we're going to see a cycle very much like the last one we saw, because I don't see anything having changed or evolved. I see no evidence of industry maturity. I see no evidence that a large swath of the population who is participating in the industry has matured or changed. I feel like even though we've had a very lengthy bear market, not enough stuff went the way of the dodo, and they're still there clinging to life. And there is of course the chance that something that is just a dinosaur, even if it has done nothing, achieved nothing, will never achieve anything or whatever, will run. I mean, my example was that last cycle we saw Ethereum Classic go on an absolute, over the span of 2 or 3 days, I think it went up 8x.
Almost the 10x.
Almost 10. I know because I sold all of mine about a week before it ripped. Because I was like, I've had this shit for years. It's never going to do anything.
Yeah, I remember.
I was in profit when I sold it, but it was my single biggest miss because I did the rookie mistake of selling the whole bag, and then a week later I missed out on $10,000+ easy if I had kept it.
Yeah, that's an L.
But my point is that I see the same thing I saw then now, and I don't see any reason to expect that we're going to have this sudden thing where no shit coins are going to randomly pop off, where Doge is not going to dominate a giant portion of the overall market share, where SHIB is not probably going to die, and just not enough stuff has changed. You could see a shitty NFT rally again. Who knows? NFTs are in a bad way right now, but it's really hard to say. I don't see any evidence that we're ready to go on to the utilitarian cycle where all the good projects, whatever the hell that means, are all the only ones that make it.
No, and I remember, even though I wasn't really paying close attention, I started to pay close attention back in 2017 as a person who wanted to invest and speculate, because I started to hear from all kinds of people in all kinds of places all over the internet, specifically about Bitcoin, but rumblings and grumblings about, just cryptocurrency generally. And it was always news like this. And even in 2011, when my friend was talking about it, he gave a really great presentation on blockchain, on smart contracts, on the future of the internet. It was way ahead of its time. And even still, I remember thinking, oh, but as I looked it up, everybody's just talking about how this is it was the same old story, the same old story, the same old story. So we've been here for what, less than 20 years. And we've been paying attention for about half that time. And if we start telling that story with intention, maybe in 20 more, maybe in 10 more, I don't know, we can have a better turnaround.
I mean, that's a good point, because you feel like what you want to do is the same way that, okay, this is a guess, but maybe this is partially what is to blame here. A lot of the people who are super interested in crypto in the sense of using it to make money see the day trading potential because of how volatile the swings can be. So whether you're an option trader or whatever, you have a lot more potential to capitalize with bigger percentage gains and losses on shorts and longs of whatever than you do in the stock market. So people have shifted from the stock market to crypto. Difference being that the same indicators and the same historical tools and things that you use to, source data, aggregate data, and make your predictions and make your buys and sells in the stock market, you are basing on many decades of data that has accumulated, that it's much easier to say has set a precedent or has set something in motion or has created a legitimate trend that can be followed. You take all of those same indicators over to crypto and it's too young. And the general assumption, I feel like, is that it will and is just going to behave the same way with bigger percentage swings, which is not the case. We see it time and time again. That's not the case. So it's just too young to take this data and make legitimate trends and all that sort of stuff about it. You can't just side by side it with the stock market. Say it's going to do the same. We are setting precedent now. So this is great. We are currently getting that data, and in 40 years, you can use it a lot more effectively historically to make your predictions and say, every time we've seen this, it's happened. Right now, you can say, hey, every time I've seen this indicator, we've done an 80x rally. Well, it's only happened 2 times ever. And the second one was probably a self-fulfilling prophecy based on the first one. So who's to say that actually meant anything? It needs to happen 40 more times before we can say, okay, this is looking like a trend now,
Alex, you said you got one more headline?
Yeah, let's see. I don't know. That was for just because there was the XLM thing, which was in line with that. And then there was the SHIB thing.
Well, I wasn't trying to rush it. I just was reminded by Bill's soundboard that he had a question, and I feel like if we're hitting the theme, that maybe it'd be a good time to go to Bill's question, just because I think I'm over the news, if that's what they're telling us. You know what I mean? Get out of here.
You're in luck. You're in luck. We have one story.
Oh, you got a substantive article?
I'm sure. Yes, we got one. I had to do one.
Yes.
I'm sure you can find this to pin it. Let's hit it real quick.
Hit the
article. Give everyone a chance to check it out, and then we'll come back to it and talk about it after.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. You said let's what?
I said let Pinna give everyone a second to look at it, and then we'll take Bill's question, and then we can come back and talk about it if there's anything.
I was just trying to get you to say let's hit it real quick, clearly, so that I could clip it.
Evan, I know what you're doing. I know there was sound happening, and it wasn't a clean clip for you.
Okay, go for it. What's the headline?
I've given you enough juice lately.
Yeah.
It's honestly really annoying, but hey, that's the best we can do.
That's a new one. You and Bill are getting greedy with my sound bites, dude. This is the single reason why I can't run for office. It's not because I've become disenfranchised with the idea of working for the government. It's because of the soundboard's existence.
Not ideal.
Evan can sell it to my opposition and make $1 million.
Yeah, that's it,
All
man.
right. It's just that that Coinbase has acquired a large stake in Circle, and we're about to see USDC launch on a shitload more stuff. So,
Oh wow, that is a big deal.
Bodes pretty well for the future of that stable coin. And I would just like to also point out, Evan, because I am a little bit of a pompous twit about this because I've been saying it forever. We're 2 years into the bear market and Tether still hasn't depegged. So
Yeah.
I just don't like all the Tether FUD. I hate the Tether FUD. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, me either. I'm with you.
This does bode well. There's articles everywhere, man. This particular one is off of CoinDesk, so I know they just talked about it, but Coinbase bought a minority stake in the stablecoin issuer Circle Internet Financial. The two companies also dissolved their Center Consortium partnership, which issued USDC, second largest stablecoin. And then they kind of go into some little details and all that good stuff there. And I'm trying to find the list of where it is about to launch. But while I look for that, perhaps we can hear from Bill.
Yes, I see that it's planning to launch on 6 different chains,
That's the one.
but
Yeah.
I don't see which chains those are.
Okay, I'll find
So
it.
if you look it up, Bill, what you got for us, brother?
So this is great. I kind of had a suspicion that that's where the news was going because I've seen some of the same headlines. So this is a very rhetorical question. Do we really think that the next bull market is going to happen, like the past 2 or 3 have happened? And I think you answered it in spades, Alex. But I don't necessarily agree with you. So,
Ooh, okay.
So what you're saying is
State your case, sir.
Well, you're saying that it's all gonna kind of happen the way it's happened in the past. Is that what you're saying? Or
Sorry, I can clarify a little bit. I just don't think that we're ready for what everyone says is the next way that this is going to happen, which is that really utilitarian projects run, users come in and start using these protocols more heavily, and those are the things that get all the adoption.
Right.
All of the reasons that people told us Project X, Y, and Z is going to moon last cycle because this cycle it's going to have a gajillion users and it's going to be doing this and doing that and they're going to accomplish their roadmap. None of that shit's happened. Right. So I feel like this time what we're going to see is buy all of this now because next time it's going to do a lot of stuff and it's going to hit this roadmap and it's going to do all that stuff. I agree. I agree with that part. I think what we're seeing now is that more regulation and government entities and national, international government entities have got their fingers in the pot, and that's going to mess some things up. I would liken it to a stick in the spoke of a bicycle wheel, where this is not going to happen the way it's happened in the past. So it's kind of funny that all these people are predicting, oh, this is just like last bull market. Well, our environment is not like last bull market because there are a lot more eyes. There's a lot more people who are fair weather investors or crypto experts, as we've pointed out. That hey, that's
really
us.
What
now.
is a crypto?
We've rebranded.
What is a crypto expert? There's no such thing because expert requires years and years of knowledge and data gathering to be an expert, and I feel like we're only, maybe if you're a Bitcoin OG, you've been in this for 10 years, right?
See, I'm going to agree with you, Bill, and I'm going to take it a step further and just say there's not even like at the rate that some people go when they claim to be a professional at this, and then what they're equipped to talk about, there's not even that much information about it. Like if you just studied Bitcoin, I don't think you can legitimately put in 10,000 hours of study and continually accumulate new information. Like it's not that complicated.
Right. I understand. And that's kind of my point. And the other part
Right.
of that goes along with it is the fact that we know, because we see it on chain, and it kind of exposes. You know what people on Wall Street really care about is the fact that the tricks that they use for decades are now out there on an open chain in a different type of market. It's the same type of manipulation tactics, right? I'm going to buy a bunch of this and start people on a run on it, and then I'm going to sell a bunch of it for profit. That's what they do in the stock market all the time. They won't tell you that. They won't say they do that. And now we can see that in crypto because of the blockchain. Like you said earlier, it's open, it's visible, everybody can review it and study it. Now we're just seeing that it's just another market that people can manipulate. That's and so that's where I'm really cautious about the next quote unquote bull run. I just feel like now that the manipulation has become more common, or more chains are susceptible to manipulation because there's all these shit coins and everything out there. It's just going to be a bloodbath. Forget trends. You're not going to be able to say, well, this is exactly where it needs to be, and I can buy in now because it's going to that. You have no idea.
Well,
and
you
the
make
best
a good
thing
point.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you make a good point too, and just that as people who maybe had more nefarious intent and wanted to manipulate markets and pump and dump, the classic kind of run and scam sort of thing that we saw last time, that has become a little harder. So they've had to adapt. No one works as hard as the guy trying to steal your money. So it'll be interesting this time to see how much harder it is to detect those things, because by now all of those people are aware that, okay, this is a blockchain, okay, it's public, I need to do X, Y, and Z to obfuscate my movements, and sort of like, what can I do to make this murkier? How can I hide more effectively? Those are the people who have been working the hardest during this bear market to prepare for a bunch of dumb blind money to start pouring back into the space. Very impulsive, very emotionally driven and charged money, which is the easiest to steal, and becoming more effective at it. Because if you saw how many things ran and dumped and how much people made how much money last time, you can bet that those people are going to come back, and for every one of them, there's going to be 10 of them now who are like, I'm going to try to make a quick crypto. Let me learn how to write a honeypot. Let me learn how to do this and do that or whatever. So it could easily be even worse than it was last time.
Absolutely, I'll give you a thumbs up on that one, and I'll end my rhetorical question with a hot take. As a number guy, if you look at it, you can go ahead, and I just came back from Vegas, so it's got some Vegas tint to it.
Ooh.
I was disappointed to hear that you didn't Rain Man your Vegas trip, I have to say. I was expecting you to math the shit out of it.
Well, I'm going to math the shit out of it. Here's the math, right? What I've seen, what your best bet to do is to lay equal amounts of money out on like 5 or 6 of the common ones, like whatever, maybe something that's affordable, Bitcoin if you want to, Ethereum, whatever, the ones that we see that kind of track together.
Mm-hmm.
And when they do that, like out of nowhere, they go down like 5% or sometimes 10%, buy the dip, and then wait about 24 hours and sell it, because it goes up 3%, 5%, 8%, 10% within 24 hours, and then get out and wait for it to happen again. Because it's almost like, not all of them do it, but usually 2 out of 4 or 3 out of 5, regularly watched coins will do that on a given month or quarter. And it's like, that's all you can really do at this point if you want to make gains, and you're going to lose on 1 or 2 of them, but you'll probably gain on 3 or 4 of them.
Well,
and that's it. I'm sure people do that.
And you do also bring up another point worth making, which is that one of the things that leads to loss and financial hardship in crypto more than anything is not recognizing that you have gained a respectable percentage in something, and listening to the people who tell you, no, it still has another 3, 4, 5x to run before it starts to dump. What's the saying? No one ever lost money taking profits.
That's right.
I mean, it's
right.
true. I can't tell you how much better I would have been when I first started if I had taken, I mean, because I was buying things that would then run 50%. And I'm like, no, everyone says I was new. Everyone says in crypto, like, oh, it just goes up.
Gotta go longer. Yep.
Just got to keep going. Just hold. And then it would all, it would all dump, and it would be at best worth what I paid for it, or maybe a 5% gain or something. And I could take a little bit out, but I lost all that I had sat on just because I was too emotionally invested into it. Don't be afraid to take it off the table if you're winning. You will have won at that point.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Someone could win more, but there's also a good chance that you will then lose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. And I think I'm trying, while you were reading all the news, I was trying to word that question the best I could because you were answering it on every article. And now that we've talked, I really think, do we really expect, with all of this, manipulation and everything going in, do we really expect that any bull market will ever be like the previous one at this point? And I just don't. It's all manipulated, and we just have to be very cautious about that stuff.
I honestly expect that, in the sense of what I used to believe, is that this next cycle will bring more substance. This next cycle will see more literacy. We'll see better teachers. We'll see better safeguards, guide rails. But now I kind of believe the opposite. Alex, I know you made a video about this the other day too, talking about how all those things we said would happen really haven't come to fruition at all, except maybe in a fractional way. Mm-hmm. That the tokens we said would die didn't, that the space has continued to grow, but the safety of being here, the ease of getting in, that hasn't really changed that much, not in a way I would call significant. And I fully expect to see all the same kinds of scams, all the same kinds of schemes. But now, instead of 5 or 6 influencers on TikTok talking about it, there's going to be 50 or 60. And every part of that problem is going to have scaled. And when I say we got to tell a better story, that's what I'm talking about. If we have cycle after cycle after cycle where, zero knowledge proofs are coming, and decentralized identity is coming, and DAOs are going to be huge. But in the meantime, have you seen that, Garden Cat token is up 1000x? You know what I mean? It's going to be that same story. Exactly. So it's up to all of us, with everything we say, we don't say, we choose to invest in, amplify, or ignore to tell a better story. It's up to you, my friends. It's up to me. We can do it. We really can do it, but we haven't done it yet, so we got to keep working.
Well, I will wrap. I'll put a bow on this particular piece of the show by just saying that, from the words of Brian Armstrong and Jeremy Allaire themselves, they have not publicly released the names of the 6 blockchains that Circle or that USDC will be launching on.
Yeah.
So in the article that they penned themselves, ushering in the next chapter for USDC, it is coming. This will bring it up to 15 chains that USDC is running on. But I don't expect that we'll hear what those 6 are until September, it looks like. So stay tuned.
Okay. I'm into it. On that note, I'm going to take it to...
This is Artificial Insanity.
Today's Artificial Insanity segment includes a quick top 10 list, and then a tip for a new app that I want to know if anybody is playing with yet. And I'm going to give you the tip first.
Real quick before you give the tip, Evan, go to Neil's page and just pin the tweet that he just wrote about Midjourney's in painting, because that's the thing I want to talk about. Oh
yeah, I was actually gonna ask Neil, and it looks like he's requested to come up, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna bring Neil up. While I bring Neil up, in painting, we got to get the scoop on it. Where is it? Oh, here it is.
I filmed a video last night, and I saw Neil's tweet, and I was like, okay, because I wanted to ask Neil about it this morning.
So the quick app I want to tell you about is Personal AI. This phenomenon, it's one that I read about in a newsletter, one of the many different AI newsletters. I probably subscribe to 5 or 6 on a junk email account, and I usually will look through them for quick headlines, and the best ones I'll actually spend time and read, because there's some junk, and I'm trying to find the name of this particular newsletter that recommended this, because it's not coming up for me. But the tool is called Personal AI, and the founder of this company has built just a simple free app where you can start to train in a more streamlined way your own AI assistant. ChatGPT remembers everything that happened in the thread before up to a certain amount of credits, but you got to start a new thread all the time, or you've got to really work with it to get it up to speed on you. This is a model that has those same capabilities, but is just designed to learn you better and then replicate you back to yourself. I started playing with it, and I found it so far to be interesting and helpful, but I just wanted to say, as my kind of artificial insanity tip, be on the lookout for more God mode GPT, more personal AI, especially on your localized device that aren't just on a server somewhere, because I really think we're going to see a lot more at scale sooner than we think. AI assistants, personalized AIs that know you, that store your thoughts, your memories, help you create things, and don't respond to anybody else. The AI Exchange is the newsletter I had that from, and the tool is called Personal AI. I'll see if I can find a tweet from them to go ahead and pin it at the top. But Neil, brother, welcome to the stage. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Took my kids out on a pretty fast boat yesterday, so that was an experience for everybody involved. Exactly, that was the feeling. So
That's a perfect sound effect.
yeah. What questions do you have, Alex?
I just wanted to, nothing specific, just wanted to get your
Want
thoughts.
me
And I
to
knew you,
talk about it.
I know you've used the Adobe stuff, and I just wanted to see how you thought the different things compared, because I've been waiting for Midjourney to do this for a while, and I was messing around with it last night on a couple different things, and I gotta say I'm pretty pleased with how it is. Like you said, you can't prompt the regions yet.
Yes, you can.
You can.
Yes, you can.
Okay, well then teach me.
Yeah. So let that blow your mind. So Midjourney had a update to their platform yesterday, where I don't know, maybe 2-3 months ago, they added a function called Zoom, where you can basically zoom out. The kind of normal term of that would be called out painting. So you can kind of paint the outside of your picture and, essentially zoom out on it. And the biggest thing that they were missing, which Stable Diffusion kind of always had the leg up on, and Adobe's generative fill tool came out with next, was something called in painting. So you can essentially highlight an area of the image you've generated, and highlight that and then prompt it. So if you have a man standing there, holding something, you could highlight that item that he's holding and turn it into a basketball, a spear, a camera, a coffee cup. And that was something that was always missing from Midjourney, and they just updated their platform so that you can do that now. And it is, I would say, pretty much on par with Adobe's generative fill. I am not an expert in Stable Diffusion, so I know a lot of people that are, and there's reasons of why they are. But it's a very, very impressive tool. Alex, to answer your question, once you go to your settings and turn remix on.
You can hear him going there as we speak.
Yes, yeah, because this was something I was talking with friends last night, and they helped me out with this, because this is not a setting that I normally have turned on. So now that you have that on, now upscale an image, click on vary, highlight the area, and then you're able to prompt that. So you could have one of your little, I'll call it corrupted minion characters, take one of those images, hit vary, highlight it, and then highlight part of it, and type in whatever you want. So
Neil, real
have
quick
fun.
question about
Yes, sir.
does Photoshop use stable diffusion? Is that why you said that?
Great question. Do they use
The way
stable
the way you
diffusion?
phrase that, meaning, I don't know if they're building their out painting, in painting on a proprietary model, or like a lot of people, if they're licensing someone else's model in tech. Obviously, Midjourney has built their, they got their own thing going on that's separate and
Yes.
distinct. But I wasn't sure if Adobe was licensing a Midjourney-esque product, a Midjourney product, a Stable Diffusion-esque product, a Stable Diffusion product. You see what I'm saying? My girlfriend,
yes.
I asked because I've been following in painting, out painting, because my girlfriend is a photographer, and just
Sure.
for the first time, she uses Photoshop all the time, but just for the first time the other day, she started editing a photo that way, and she's
Yeah.
super skeptical. And I found it was quite limited. I thought it might be a proprietary model because of how limited it was, or a very basic licensed model, but just was curious if you'd played with it and if you knew.
I don't know that I can't answer that question
No
with
problem.
100% confidence. I believe Adobe is. I don't know that the answer to that question.
No
so
fret.
me guessing doesn't help anybody.
I'll find out.
I can confirm Midjourney has their own. This is what they've produced, and I'm extremely happy with it. So.
Very cool. Neil, I apologize to you too. I owe you a response. I've been putting together. I have 3 or 4 people, some agents and some gallerists. And on behalf of my friend Neil, if you know any folks who are art dealers or can put you in touch with them, is that something you still need, brother?
Yeah. Quick 2-minute story. So there is a NFT marketplace that is really pushing the limits on kind of the Web3, Web2 crossover. And there was a massive event out at the and I say this wrong because I don't speak French, the Concours d'Elegance. It's some like extremely awesome car show out in California or whatever. And as sad as it is, it's more about who you know. But anyways, some guy who is like the head of legal there at this marketplace knew some people, and they hosted kind of a pop-up gallery kind of outside this main like ultra exclusive car show. And everything that was shown, in real life on digital screens or whatever, was all NFTs, or digital art, whatever term you want to use for that. And just about every person that came in there had no knowledge of Web3 NFTs, and they were buying art, air quotes, whatever, left and right, and they were all NFTs. So me, I've printed out several pieces that I've made and purchased and whatnot, and I really like this. And so yeah, please do follow up on that, because that's very exciting for me.
I promise I will. And what's the marketplace called?
Makers, Makers.
Got it.
PLACE. It's definitely geared towards the art side of NFTs. There's some very, if you want to go browsing, there's some very unique stuff on there.
Yeah.
So
I saw a tweet you liked and reposted, and I just pinned it to the top.
Oh, cool.
So people can find it there.
Yeah.
Man, thanks, Neil. Alex, brother, I know you've got to go. I've got a quick a job posting, and I've got a top 10, and I'm happy to give them without you, though I will miss your company. Except I want to defer to you and give you a chance to wrap it up and put a pin on it and say you love them and whatever else you might do. Do you have any expertise for us, crypto man? Crypto expert.
Crypto expert, yeah. I think I'm just gonna add a couple other kinds of expert to the mix there too.
Yeah, put a couple of credentials on your name, man. Put some respect on it.
Optometry expert. I've been wearing glasses for 20 years.
Yeah, mustache expert. Just
Mustache
look at that thing.
It speaks for itself. No, I'm good. I'm very excited that Neil was here, because now I can add a clip to the video about remix mode. So shout out Neil for that pro tip there. That's really cool. I didn't know you could do that. I was messing around with exactly what he was saying, taking characters that I was like so close to, but had like one missing piece that I was upset about, and just working on kind of remixing them and all this sort of stuff. And it's I'm very excited with how it's gone. I'm regenerating like so much stuff right now because of course.
And Alex, and then like whenever you get an image and there's like something a little screwy or something like bled over into something that it wasn't supposed to, just highlight that area, remix it, put whatever basic term you want in there, and it cleans stuff up very, very well.
So when you re-prompt the selected region, are you writing a completely new prompt, or are you just changing like a word and keeping the prompt as is?
Yeah, so I was screwing around with it yesterday, and I had this, person or whatever, and it had this, crazy prompt to it with kind of this rabbit hole I'm diving down. And I was like, I wonder what happens if I just, highlight this area and just put basketball in there. It did a basketball completely in the style of the rest of the painting, and like the lighting was hitting it at the right angle. So I would recommend, just in my whatever 4 hours of waking time playing with it, highlight the area that you want and just make your prompt extremely simple with whatever you need.
Okay.
So if you're trying to clean up a finger, like I had hands pressed against a face, and it didn't like the one finger, so I just highlighted the weird finger and I just put, smooth skin, and it completely did what it was supposed to do. So
very cool. All right, well, there goes the rest of my day.
Yeah. My pleasure.
I guess the last thing that I'll say is this is not like a pro tip. It's just an exciting moment from yesterday with my AI shenanigans. Because I've known Evan is doing a code thing with AI right now. Like it was not news to me that ChatGPT can write code. But I just had a cool like moment where it became very relevant for me. I was talking to Max, our game designer or developer rather, and he asked me to send him the JSONs for the character metadata for all of the characters that are going to be launching with the first version of the mobile game. And this is like 18 JSONs, and I don't know how to write a JSON. And it needs to be legible in Firebase. And I just went to ChatGPT, and for context, I'm not exaggerating. This is a thread where when I started it, I was like, hey, I don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but every time you respond to me or answer one of my questions, please be condescending and call me names, just because I thought it would be funny to have a really snarky AI thread. I don't know why. I've made too many of these things. So I just asked it, I was like, hey, random question. Can you write, if I give you a bunch of character data, can you write me Firebase legible JSONs for their metadata? And it was like, yes, you idiot. Just send me the data and I'll put it together. And sent it, and it was basically just like, God, you're so needy, here you go. And it sent me the JSON, and it was awesome. But it was perfect. And I took the JSON and sent it to Max, and he's like, yeah, that's exactly what I need. And I was like, so then I took all my spreadsheets of all my character data that I've put together and just copy pasted it into ChatGPT and asked it to turn it into JSONs, and it did it in 30 seconds, and I had all the JSONs done. And it would have taken me days. It was awesome.
I mean, I love that, bro.
Yeah, it was awesome. But no, man, I'm well met.
I'm glad to hear it. Well, in that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to very quickly pin at the top from our friends who have not sponsored the show, but could sponsor the show if they felt like it, at Crypto Jobs List, a couple of the best jobs in Web3. There are some development opportunities, meaning like software dev, but also biz dev. And one that they just posted is for the community management lead at El Hippo, the hottest PFP I haven't heard of yet. I'm just sure of it. I'm going to gladly go around the stage really quick and get to Well, it doesn't have to be really quick. Get some thoughts from Neil, get some thoughts from Bill, and then I'll give you a top 10 list and we'll get out of here and go about with our week. Neil, my friend, have you got a final thought? Good joke, word of wisdom for us?
No, I wanted to piggyback off something what Bill said. He's talking about, market conditions and what's going to happen the next cycle and whatnot. And I think nobody knows, and that's always the obvious answer, but you really need to kind of think about that. You're taking a look at, these cherry pick, metrics off Glassnode or whatever it may be. Who the hell knows what happens tomorrow? And I guess, that's the whole point of this space, is just being educated about things. But, is the halving going to mean anything? Who knows? I don't think it will, but I'm probably wrong. It is more controlled, just this whole space, by, governments. I mean, that's insane. I mean, there are literally countries that have this as their currency. There's more whales involved. There's less exchanges, maybe. But nobody knows. And looking at price predictions are hilarious. But even looking at some of these, on-chain metrics, and this happened, Alex made a great point. But, who the hell knows? And nobody does. So if you're, trying to line things up and connect the dots, you're probably going to be wrong. Not you in particular, Bill, but just you, the overall you. So.
Good take, man. Good take. Bill, what about you, brother? You got a final thought to send us off into the wild wonder of the week?
I would just like to thank Neil for coming on the show, because now I have some mid-journey re-rendering to do. So
yeah, Bill, have fun with your little corrupted stuff that you're making for people, because you can start adding stuff in. It's a lot of fun.
What's funny is that I have one particular gentleman who usually is on the show, but is not here today. And we've gone round and round because he needed one specific thing, and I couldn't get Midjourney to do it. So I was getting so close. He was like, "Oh, if it just had this." And so now I think I can give it another shot.
Let me just say that one you did for Lisa, Katniss Evermean, I think that's my favorite one. I think that is so cool.
Yeah, it's a good one. I like that one.
Okay, my friends.
That's my last point. See ya.
Here's what I got. See ya. He said see ya. Bill, I love you. I'm not trying to rug you, man. This is live. we're doing it live, man. If you don't let it be your last one. It doesn't have to be. I'm not trying to kick you out. I swear. Just interrupt me, man. That's what we do. He's over there like, no, Evan, it's fine. Just take it. I do have 10 quick thoughts for you on the theme of the show, which you'll see I have changed to Crypto Experts, the Crypto Experts morning show. And the theme for Crypto Experts is crypto is easy. That's what I wrote in the tweet for this show, and that's what I want to send you out with. Me and GPT were coming up with different reasons, and so I've got a top 10 list for you of why crypto is easy, or how crypto is easy. Starting with number 10, crypto is easy, like assembling IKEA furniture without any instructions. Number 9, crypto is easy, like choosing your favorite child, pet, or ice cream flavor. Number 8, crypto is easy, like finding Waldo in a blizzard. Number 7, crypto is easy until you try explaining it to your grandpa. Number 6, crypto is easy as pie. But wait, who's baking the pie? And isn't the oven broken? And is it gluten-free? Number 5, crypto is easy. Just get ready to open 50 tabs on your browser, join 20 Discord servers, and learn to speak fluent meme. Number 4, crypto is easy because the only coins you gotta count are the ones stuck in your sofa. Number 3, crypto is easy. Just ride your unicorn to the pot of Bitcoin at the end of the rainbow. Number 2, crypto is easy. Why stress about strategy when thoughts and prayers are free? And number 1, Crypto is easy if you just hodl. Hodl your crypto, hodl back your tears, hodl back your laughter when someone says they've figured out the market, and if all else fails, just hodl a pizza party. Oh.
Long story short,
Is
he did survive.
Is this Evan Letterman?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's the top 10 list. We might have one next week. We might have an apology for all the people we've offended. We might have another crypto expert on the show, but we will be back. We will be back. Same time, same place next week. We hope that you'll join us with your hot takes, with your crypto questions, your good jokes, your words of wisdom on the official Morning Somewhere show of the Financial Revolution. Until then, my friends, join us in the Discord server at discord.gg/the Faceless Many. You can connect with Alex, all our friends from the show, and everybody else in our community there. And we would love to see you. Yes, you. And if we don't see you there, well, hey, you can join us here next time. Alex, brother, thank you. Bill, Neil, thank you, my friends. Until next time. Everybody, rise up. And YouTube, you get 10 extra seconds, in which time I will say,
Hey, man, they're just shitty little projects.